Hi guys, this is Andrew, and I'd like to introduce you to the latest addition to our 360 kit. Now this is the Moza 360, and this is a handheld gimbal and stabilizer rig designed specifically for 360-degree cameras. And of all the means of stabilizing 360 shots, including some of the cameras that nowadays have built-in gyroscopes, this is probably the most effective. And this is something you're going to want to have on you and learn how to use for any kind of 360 shot that involves any type of movement, whether it's driving or walking while shooting. Anything that involves a non-static 360 shot, we'll definitely want to give this one a try. And so I'm going to take you through the basics on how to use it, specifically in conjunction with the Nikon Key Mission, which is the 360 camera that comes with this kit. And I think you'll find this fairly straightforward and simple to use as long as you've set it up properly ahead of time. And the first thing you want to do for setup is make sure the battery has been fully charged and ready to go. Now the battery is right here at the bottom of the handle. You can unscrew the bottom here. Alright, now the battery power on this thing will last maybe about 3 or 4 hours if you're using the Moza consistently. And it'll take about 4 or 5 hours to fully charge. Obviously we've included the recharger for this with the kit. And whenever the battery is fully charged, there's an LED light on the charger. It'll turn from red to green. And most importantly, when you are replacing this battery back in, you want the positive side to go in first. So put that in. Now with the battery fresh and ready to go, one of the key setups you're going to want to make absolutely sure you get right, I'll show you, are these. These are the counterweights, and these are things that you are going to screw on and attach to this part of the rig right here. You can see this sort of set of holes. Now there are 2 sets of counterweights, and you want to put one set on each side, and it absolutely does matter which one of these holes you use, how many weights are on each rig. You can actually, there are 4 little weights here, and you can unscrew or screw them onto the axle. And the key thing here is that Moza actually has put together a diagram of different commercial model cameras and what the correct counterweight setup is for each of them. And we've included a copy of this diagram along with the kit. Now for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm going to show you what the setup should be for the Nikon Key Mission. And that is, I'm going to take off one of the weights on each of these because you want 3 weights on each side rather than 4. One of them should go on the bottommost sort of rung here on the scale. Whoop. So I'm going to put this set of 3 down at the bottom. And the other belongs on the other side at the second hole from the bottom. So just 1 notch up. And in the end, the setup should look something like this. Again, 3 sets of weights on each side, 1 at the very bottom, 1 on the other side at the next rung up on the scale. So with the weights in place, right before we add our Key Mission camera on, one last thing you'll want to check is make sure that the gimbal is facing the right way. And you can just sort of see here that little icon right in the middle. There are 2 arrows pointed up and also an index finger pointed up. That is the direction you want all 3 of those to be facing. And as long as they are, you're ready to attach the Key Mission using this little 1/4-inch thumb screw right here at the top. And you want to screw this on so that the Key Mission's spherical lenses line up with these sides of the rig. I'll show you right here. You can see you've kind of got 3 circles: the lens, the gimbal motor arm, and the flat side of the weights. And if you've got this set up correctly, you're ready to press the little button down here. We've got our button and our joystick. Do sort of a long press. And if you set up correctly, it'll just snap right into the center position. And that is basically what you need to get started. Now, before we turn the camera on and start shooting here, just a couple of quick notes left about the buttons here, because there are two. The power button down here, you'll want to do kind of a long press to turn on and off. So sort of press and hold. All right, and it's back to normal. Let's turn it back on. Yeah, you see this thing has to adjust carefully with the weights. And if we want to recenter it, we're going to triple click. And the joystick up here is controls the rotation of the arm and also the panning and tilting. You turn left and right, you'll rotate the position here on the rig. And up and down on the joystick controls the tilt. Now, one important thing to keep in mind is I would not advise messing with the joystick while you are shooting, because for the purpose of the person watching the 360 video, they need to have complete control over what direction they're turning their head or looking up and down. Now, obviously, you do want to control the rotation and tilt in between shots. Like if you need to reposition the way that the main lens is facing, which I would recommend, because if you're doing 360 video, you want the lenses to be facing the subject that you absolutely must make sure is clearly in the image head on. Because if you have a subject of a scene and they're kind of on the sidelines here, they could get distorted by, sort of a stitch line. So, do what you need to do with the joystick to position the camera so that it's angled properly, that it's facing the right way, but just keep the camera in its position when you're shooting. And to that end, in the same way that if you do a long press of the power button, you can turn the thing on and off, if you do like a long press in on the joystick for about 3 seconds, it'll enter something called lock mode. And what that means is that whatever direction you had the camera facing in, all axes are now locked into this position, so that no matter what direction you tilt the camera, it will lock itself into that exact angle on the X, Y, and Z axis. I think we can turn it off again by another long hold. And again, hit the power button 3 times quickly to recenter the camera. And that should be all you need to know to get started. Now, if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to get in touch with us. And of course, we really look forward to seeing what you're able to do with this and the kind of 360 shots you're able to take with a newly steadied hand. So thank you very much for watching. I'm Andrew Polino, and we'll see you on the next tutorial. Take care.